Hey, Dave LaCalia with HeadGames Motorworks. I'm back with another teardown for a 2JZ. Seen some road race action. Got a lot going on here. Check it out. So first thing I want to mention is that I want you guys to use these teardown videos because when you're looking at your own parts, and that's the main reason for this, I want to educate you on what things to look for and what are the possible causes or what actually are the causes of these things so you can either A, avoid them, or B, inspect them yourself and know what you're getting into before you even take your head and ship it off somewhere. This is Sam Tennyson's 2JZ head. It's on a road race Supra. This thing sees wide open throttle for a good 20 minutes at a time, and man, look at the cam journals, just freaking amazing. Like, you don't normally see these things come back after such abuse and still be in a good spot. Like, we just have to maybe polish them up. Everything looks good. I don't see anything wrong here. He's very good care of the car. Oil changes and all that stuff are right on point. Oh, here's a... This one has like a little bit of discoloration, but nothing to actually worry about. Yeah, I mean, these things look good. You look at the camshafts, they're looking okay. Now, the journals, just like the head, look really good. But when you look at some of the lobes, this is a GSC, I believe they're S2 cams. What are they, Toby? You should know this stuff. Yeah. Okay, I think they're S2s. And, or no, they're S1s, I'm sorry, they're S1s. So Sam's making like 600 horsepower, and what we see here is, you see like some of the, on the base circle, there's no more of this coating. So the reason why it could come off would be because a valve float would actually tighten up the lash, and then once it tightens up the lash, it would start going into the base circle. And this lobe here looks pretty hurt. This is also, I would say, a contributor to the valve float. Now, so you can also see valve float on the acceleration side of the camshaft, which actually would be here. So you see how these like little marks on the acceleration side of the camshaft. So you notice that it took it off all over here. And that's because whenever you have a situation where you're in the valve float, now everything is going to be out of time. When I say that is because the bucket's now going to be fluttering versus following, because that's what it's actually called, a follower. It's supposed to follow everything, and it's not following. Everything's out of time, and you get some really weird signs of. Take a look at the valves, and on the 45-degree angle here, there is some beating in going on. The valve was beating into the seat, so the 45-degree angle here beats into the valve seat. You lose lash. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You lose spring pressure, and then it just happens a lot easier moving forward. Now, the exhaust doesn't look as bad. The exhaust actually looks pretty decent. So it's just the intake valve that I'm going to guess it definitely needs some help. The combustion chamber sure is ugly. I don't know, I actually don't know what this brown stuff is. I'm going to guess that it would be some kind of water situation because I don't normally see it, but there sure is a lot of it. It's on every chamber. It comes off very easily. It kind of looks like rust. I don't know if he left water and blew a head gasket, but I don't see anything here in between the cylinders that makes it look like anything really happened. And the head's perfectly straight because we straight edged it. And I will say, for all the valve float, the valve seats look just amazing. Like, there's really nothing wrong with it. I think we could just blend these back in. We can hit them with a 45 maybe on the stone, and he can get back to business. Now, one thing you'll notice here is that we did a pocket port. That's how originally it started. So we did a pocket port, bronze guides, valve job, mill assemble. That was the original job he got. And for parts, we did a GSC, we did a conical spring, the 5064 spring, and we did GSC valves, stock size on both sides. Now let's talk the bucket. Now, you've seen the videos somebody else has put up about DLC coated buckets in a 2J and how you can ruin a bucket by not using that in the billet cam. Well, here's to show you. I've showed many videos on how to avoid it. And you see, we did not avoid it here. All these buckets have some kind of crazy wear into them, and they're concave. This one right here is concaved on the outside, and this one's concaved on the inside, so it would actually, you would lose lash. And they all have this wear. So you remember I mentioned that everything's going to be out of time, and what happens when it's out of time, it's no longer following the valve spring. So if it's not following the valve spring and the camshaft is not sliding against the bucket, what happens is if it doesn't slide, it dies. It's going to kill the bucket, and that's all from the valve flow. What happens is it's going to have oil starvation. When I say oil starvation, it's going to displace the oil because it's slamming against it, and now you have a situation where it's just going to kill it. And a DLC coated bucket would help in this situation, but the way it would help is it would last longer. It just wouldn't fail right away. It would take a little bit longer to fail, but it doesn't mean that it wouldn't fail altogether. This would absolutely be the same scenario, except for the coating, the DLC coating would come off and it would go in your motor, and it's a diamond-like coating. So you have all these little shards of diamond-like coating into your engine, and obviously you can imagine what that would cause. So how would we fix this? We're going to fix this by either going to a stronger conical. So we're going to either go to the 5066 spring kit, or we're going to shim up the 5064. It says Sam is only making 600 horsepower. He's road racing it, but this thing lives on the limiter for, well, not on the limiter, but it's always an RPM for 20 minutes at a time. There's a ton of heat, and there is obviously some abuse, and we have to fix it. Those are our two ideas on trying to have to fix it, and then you won't have this problem anymore. You don't have to move to a DLC coated bucket. You just need to move to the correct valve spring. That does it for me today. I sure hope you liked, subscribed, learned something, and you can comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Yay, nay, say whatever, call me an a-hole, whatever. I don't care. Comment. I want to hear from you. Toodles.